Dr. Achyutan Ishwar is a yoga and naturopathy physician, empowering people to be your own doc using the latest evidence-based nutrition and yoga. After completing his BNYS from SDMC NYS, he stayed back to organize a 6-pavilion exhibition at the International Conference of Yoga and Naturopathy. In 2014, Dr. Ishwar co-founded PHC Lifestyle Clinic and nutritionscience.in, an evidence-based nutrition website. His clinic and website have reached 40,000 plus people today. Zordar taliyan, bahut badi baat hai. In 2019, Dr. Ishwar co-founded Sampurnahar.com, India's first whole food plant-based social enterprise. Through Sampurna Ahar, he and his team make healthy eating easier while uplifting people from poverty and flattening the economy. Today, he and his team have home delivered 40,000 plus healing meals and 20,000 plus healthy food products all over India and donated 40,000 plus healthy meals. Dr. Ishwar and his team are spearheading the lifestyle medicine revolution in India today. Zordar taliyan. Sir, मैं आपसे request करूंगी कि please stage पर आएं और 2 शब्द हमारे audience से share करें. Thank you. Dr. Ishwar.
Thank you so much, Anisha, for introducing me, and CCRYN, NIN, and Department of Ayush for holding this amazing, fantastic conference. Very excited to be speaking with you all today. My name is Dr. Achyutan Ishwar, and I'm the co-founder of Sampurnahara.com and nutritionscience.in. And I'd like to begin with a personal story of how I was inspired to, to do the work that I'm doing today. This is a photo of my grandparents taken when I was studying my BNYS at SDM College when I was doing my internship. One day, my mother called me and said, "Your grandfather has suddenly started vomiting blood. What do we do?" We got scared. We rushed him to the hospital. He was diagnosed with internal bleeding, a side effect of an antihypertensive medication that he had been taking for the last 30 years. The doctors reduced the dosage. 2 days later, they sent him back home. But 1 week later, the same symptom repeated. He vomited blood once again. He went back to the hospital, same diagnosis, same result, sent back home. This repeated again and again and again. The 3rd week, he called me and he said, "Achyutan, I'm fed up. Either you let me die or give me a permanent solution." So we sent him and my grandmother to the Pavitra Nature and Yoga Hospital in Coimbatore, where under the guidance of Dr. Subramaniam and Dr. Pavitra, they adopted a naturopathic diet. They started practicing yoga every day. And in just 10 days' time, they came back home completely transformed. Both of them had lost 10 kgs of weight each. My grandfather's blood pressure, the vomiting stopped. In 2 days flat, the blood vomiting stopped, and he has never had another episode since then. His weight came down by 10 kgs. His BP came down from 110/100 on the first day of admission down to 120/80 on the last day when he got discharged with less medications. My grandmother has been diabetic for 30 years. Her sugar levels came down from the 300s range down to 100, 140, normal range with 90% less insulin and less medications. My family thought it was a miracle. But I was watching hundreds of patients undergo the same transformation on a daily basis at the SDM hospital where I was doing my internship. And I'm sure that every one of you has seen this happen. Yes, with multiple patients, multiple times. And that's where my journey began. I realized the power of nutrition, the power of a healthy lifestyle is so much more than I had ever thought possible. This is a photo of my grandparents taken during my wedding just a few years later. Now, before this photo was taken, my grandmother had developed another disease. My grandmother was diagnosed with cancer, B-cell follicular lymphoma. She was admitted in the HCG hospital for treatment where Dr. Raghavendra Rao is now the director of CCRYN. He was the head of the CAM program there. And with his guidance, with the fantastic doctors and treatments there, my grandmother underwent chemotherapy. She underwent all the treatment for her cancer. But when she went back, after the 6 chemotherapy sessions for a reassessment, for a follow-up, the doctor had initially said that we can reduce your cancer by around 70%, but that's it. Don't expect more. It's a slow-growing tumor, and that's all we can expect. She went back. The doctor took a look at her test, and he said, I'm surprised. The cancer seems to have gone, 100% gone. Wow, amazing. Right. And if not for a plant-based diet, my grandmother, my mother who had breast cancer and got the same reaction from her doctor, I'm shocked, your cancer has shrunk you so much. Let's cancel the surgery that we had scheduled. We have seen such fantastic results. And those are what inspired me to become a lifestyle physician, to become a yoga and naturopathy physician, to the work that I'm doing. And today I'd like to share with you this story of how we transformed as a family and how we're helping hundreds and thousands of people do the same at home for their families as well. Throughout the day today, we've had several fantastic speakers speak about the science of nutrition, the science of Poshan Ahar, the science of staying healthy. I'm going to be speaking a little about the science, and I'm importantly going to be speaking about how every single one of you as a student, as a doctor, as a physician, can help your patients make this possible in their lives at home permanently. So when my grandparents came back home, we started changing their diets. We used to cook, your regular naturopathy hospital food, boiled vegetables, khichdi, plain rotis without oil, fruits and vegetables. We used to give them that food. The rest of us at home, we ate normal food because why should we go on a diet? We're healthy, right? This was until I dug into the research, and this is what I discovered. The number one cause of death in India is ischemic heart disease. You see how much it's separated away from the rest, right? And that's a disease that can be prevented. More than 95% of those cases could have been prevented if people followed a healthy lifestyle. And all of those are the top 10 causes of death in India today. That's 2019 data from the Global Burden of Disease study. And everything in red is going up. Everything in green is coming down. Right? All of those red diseases are preventable, treatable, and potentially reversible through yoga and naturopathy. So we asked ourselves the question, why is this happening? Was it always the case? Did we just, not know about it until now? It turns out it was not always the case. This has only started happening now. Now, this is an excerpt from the first annual health report published by the Corporation of Madras in independent India. This is 1947, where an entire city decided to publish and say, these are the biggest diseases in our city. This is why the people are dying. The word heart, which is our number one killer today, right? The word heart is mentioned twice in this report. Okay. The first time where it mentions children who had congenital heart diseases, which is not lifestyle related. The second time, a tigress that died from heart failure in the Madras Zoo. I mean, come on, seriously? No heart disease, no diabetes, no hypertension, no obesity, no mention of cancers. In our country, when we gained independence, we were healthy. Why were we healthy? Our food, body, and mind. We were living a much healthier lifestyle than we did today. Sure, we had nutrition deficiency diseases, but we did not have lifestyle diseases. In 1936, a few years before independence, you see what were Indians eating? And this is a paper from Calcutta. Right? What do people in Calcutta eat today? Name three things. White rice, dairy, and fish. Yes? Yes? Now just read this. It says that Indians in Calcutta ate less than 1/5 of the quantity of animal protein, less than half the fat, and almost entire absence of dairy products. Can you imagine Bengalis not drinking milk, not eating fish? That's how it was. And that's why we were so healthy. Right? Fast forward a little more, 1947, go 14 years ahead, 1961, in the same city, Madras, another group of researchers wanted to find out how many healthy Indians had heart disease, but they didn't know about it yet. You know, like people like you and me, I think I don't have heart disease. I think none of you have been diagnosed with heart disease as yet, right? How many of us have heart disease, but we don't know about it? Because this was a time when people started dying of heart attacks more and more. So they wanted to find out how big is the problem. They thought that they're going to get a small number. Heart disease is not very prevalent in India. But what they found was shocking. Right? So a little background, a heart attack is not like a cold or like COVID-19. COVID-19, you meet someone who has the infection, you have a risk of contracting it. But a heart attack, you need to have had heart disease for several years, and then you get a shocking news, you're at a high risk of getting a heart attack, right? So what they did was they took 500 people who had died from unrelated causes, like healthy people, but had an accident and passed away, you know? So they cut open their chests, took out a piece of their artery, put it under a microscope to find out how many healthy Indians already had heart disease without knowing it. What do you think they found? What do you guys think they found? What percentage? Take a wild guess. Small, big, medium? What do you guys think? Medium, right? Now they thought they're going to get a small number because no one had heart disease. What they found was by age 10, 95% of children already had the starting stages of heart disease. By age 20, 100% of Indians already had it. They found heart disease in a 2.5-year-old baby. And they did more and more research. And we now know that the predisposition to heart disease starts when we're just a fetus in our mother's womb. By the time we're 10 years old, pretty much every single one of us already has the disease. In our 20s, it develops into plaques. In our 30s and 40s, it starts killing us off in the form of heart attacks, strokes, gangrenes, aortic aneurysms. They're all the same disease in different parts of the body. So we as a family, we asked ourselves, right? It's no longer a question of how do I prevent a disease that I might get at some point in the future? No. How do I reverse the heart disease I already have? And if there is anyone in this room or watching this live online, if you are above 10 years of age and you're living in India, then this is the question you may need to ask yourself. How do I reverse the heart disease I probably already have? Is that possible? Yes. In the year 1991, Dr. Dean Ornish and his colleagues published the Lifestyle Heart Trial. Dr. Ornish specialized in cardiology, and he learned yoga, went to the US, and created a cardiac rehabilitation program where he took people who had had moderate to severe heart disease, put them in 2 groups. He told one of them, do what your doctor says. Told the other one, eat a healthy diet, exercise, and stay calm. What they found was the people who followed their doctor advice died. The people who followed the diet moderately, the disease didn't worsen. But in the people who ate a healthy diet, the disease got better. And this is a picture of what it looks like. See this picture at the bottom? Sorry, the one at the top, that's with heart disease. That's an artery that's blocked off. There's no blood supply there. The one at the bottom is the reversal of heart disease. That's the artery opening up. The plaque you can see there is completely gone. The artery is opened up. Can you guess how long this took? 3 weeks. 3 weeks on a plant-based diet and healthy lifestyle. And that's the miracle that the body can do. So what else can a plant-based diet do, right? Okay, you can reverse heart disease. What else can it do? This is data from the Adventist 2 study, which I think 70,000 people were analyzed. Seventh-day Adventists who already follow a healthy lifestyle. They analyzed non-vegetarians, semi-vegetarians, people who ate meat once in a while, those who ate only fish but no meat, those who ate only eggs and milk but no meat, and vegans. What they found was every step of the way, there is a drop in BMI. Can you tell me who has an ideal BMI here? Which of these? Only the vegan group. Everyone else is above the ideal BMI range. There's a stepwise drop in diabetes risk and a stepwise drop in hypertension risk as well. Hundreds and thousands of research studies have been published all over the world. Leading companies like Kaiser Permanente, which is one of the biggest insurance companies in the world, to publish saying healthy eating may be best achieved through a plant-based diet. They asked their doctors to tell the patients to eat healthy so they don't fall sick. Good for the insurance company, right? But being an insurance company, they also had to give details. So they said that, yes, you can reduce medications, your cholesterol will drop, your weight will drop, BP, sugar, your cancer risk, heart disease risk, everything will drop. But it may get better so quickly that you'll need to keep an eye out. Right. Now, I don't know about you, but if there is a therapy whose only side effect is that it works too well, I think everyone should know about it, right? So when I started my BNYS course, the first sentence I heard in the first lecture by Dr. Rudrappa, who was the CMO of our hospital then, the body heals itself. And we've been repeating that so many times here. Then I found this paper which said the best kept secret in medicine is that the body heals itself, right? And this is what I'd like to share with all of you today. When I graduated, I wanted to explore this in more detail, not get into specific therapies, but get into learning how can people be their own doctor? How can people stay healthy by themselves? So I started consultations. In the morning, Dr. Pradeep, who introduced me to research, by the way, with his fantastic speaks at my college, he said that you need to spend at least 45 minutes with your patient in the first consultation. I spent 3 hours. 3-hour consultations for 6 months straight. I consulted 3 patients a day. That's it. But I quickly realized it's not going to work, right? But why did I do this? Because when you get a patient and you tell them, okay, you have diabetes, no problem. All you need to do from today onwards, exercise, meditate every day. Oh, by the way, you also need to change your diet. From today, stop eating animal and processed foods, or reduce it and eventually stop it. Stop eating meat, fish, eggs, dairy products like milk, curds, cheese, yogurt, paneer, butter, buttermilk, ghee. Also, you may have to stop eating oil, white rice, maida, sugar, jaggery, and alcohol. The next question they're going to ask, what do I eat? Do you expect me to survive on water and salads for the rest of my life? No, we had to take 3 minutes to explain it to a patient. So we started conducting workshops. We created a website called nutritionscience.in. And, any of you who have a smartphone, please check it out, nutritionscience.in. We have a free course where we've published more than 200 whole food plant-based recipes that are capable of disease prevention and reversal. So people started attending our courses, amazing, fantastic changes at home. They dropped weight, the sugar improved, BP improved. Then they called us back and said, Doctor, this is fantastic. I've gotten so healthy. My family's gotten so healthy. Can you also cook this food and send it to my home? It'll be so much more easier for me then. So we started Sampurna Ahara, which is India's first whole food plant-based social enterprise. I'd like to show you some of the foods that we cook here. I think I need to wrap up in the next few minutes, which I will. So I'm going to cut it a little short. I'm going to show you a lot of photos of yummy food in a very short time. So, in case any of you are hungry after this, you have me to blame. So what we do at Sampurna Ahara Nutrition Science is we follow a specific process to get people to change the way they eat at home. Okay. Now, I know most of you have either studied, seen, or worked in a naturopathy hospital so far. Yes? Yes? Okay. Now, I noticed in every single naturopathy hospital, we had one problem. The problem is people come to the hospital, they lose 10 kgs of weight, they get so happy, they go back home. The next year after Diwali, they come back. Correct? They put on 15 kgs of weight and they come back. Right? So what do you do? Right? So we need to make sure that what they eat every day after they go back home changes. It's not what you eat 10 days a year that counts. It's what you eat 355 days a year that counts. So the first step is learning about it. Right? Now, if you tell a patient, look, you need to stop reducing or, stop eating dairy products. You write it on a piece of paper, no dairy products, and you send them back home with a prescription. They're not going to do it. It's good for them. They know it's good for them, but you know what they'll tell you? Doctor will say, I know this is good for me. I can't do it. This is what they're going to say, right? So what do? You teach it to them. Tell them, look, dairy, cow's milk is food for a baby calf. Cow's milk is a nature-designed food to make a small baby calf grow into a 100 kg cow in a matter of 6 months. Is that your goal? If it is, okay, maybe it'll work. And that's true. For example, milk has a hormone called IGF-1, which is insulin-like growth factor 1, which stimulates growth of cells. So if adult human beings like you and me, we drink milk, our cell growth gets stimulated as well. Our cancer risk shoots up, right? There are a group of people who are born with a genetic deficiency of IGF-1 in their bodies. They develop dwarfism. They don't grow up too tall, but they seem to be immune to cancer. There has not been a single documented case of cancer among these people until today, right? So it has IGF-1, dairy has cholesterol, it has saturated fat, it's zero fiber, it's low phytonutrients. And the more you drink it, the sicker you get. Huge studies have associated dairy consumption with increased risk of everything from mouth ulcers to heart disease, to Parkinson's disease, to asthma, to type 1 diabetes. Oh, by the way, the stories that you heard about dairy when you were growing up, the story of Krishna, for example, can you tell me any story where Krishna actually drinks milk? Not there. Any story where Krishna actually eats butter? That's not there either. He only steals it. What does he do with it? He feeds it to his poor, hungry friends who have not had enough food to eat that day, right? And then he takes the rest of the butter and he feeds it to the monkeys outside who are also hungry, who have not had enough food to eat. Now, and then they all get caught by the gopis. This is the actual story. Look it up, right? They get caught by the gopis. He tells his friends to run. He smears his face with butter. He gets caught. The gopis drag him to his mother Yashoda and they complain, saying, Yashoda, look at your son. Every day, we have tied up the calves so that they don't drink up the milk. He comes and frees the calves. They drink all the milk and we have no milk left to sell in the city. And with the little milk that we do get, we tie it up, we hang it so that the kids can't get to it. And this guy comes, he breaks all the pots, he takes all our butter. What do we do with him? Then Yashoda asks Krishna, did you eat the butter? He says, no, I didn't eat the butter, which is true. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think this is a story that tells you drinking milk is a healthy habit. I think this is a story that teaches social equality, social justice. If someone has food and the other person doesn't, share it. I think this is a story that teaches there are certain foods which you eat during times of emergencies, during times of food shortage, when you don't have anything to eat at home. Eat whatever you can to survive. But when you have eaten good food at home, don't drink dairy, don't eat meat, don't eat eggs. So when you teach this to a patient, you tell me, are they going to do it or not? They probably might, right? So learning is step number 1. That's what we started doing on nutritionscience.in. Step number 2 is the crowding out effect. So you tell a patient, from tomorrow onwards, stop using oil in your cooking. They're not going to do it. But you tell the same patient, from tomorrow, eat 3 fruits a day. Okay, 3 fruits a day, that's it. Just do this one thing, come back to me in a week. Are they going to do it? Yes, it's easy, it's simple, it's delicious. Choose any fruit that you like, doesn't matter whether it's watermelon or papaya, banana, orange, fine, you choose, but eat 3 fruits a day. When they do that, they come back to you in a week, you're going to be surprised because they will tell you, doctor, actually, I've stopped drinking tea also. They eat so much of healthy food that the unhealthy food just goes out of their diet. That's called the crowding out effect. The third one, and this is the last one, last tip that I'd like to share with all of you today, is the banana leaf meal. A traditional Indian banana leaf meal goes in this order. It starts with a peeled banana. Then you have the kosamri, the salads, then all the vegetable dishes. Then you have the rice. What do? We wait for them to serve everything and then we start with the puliyogre. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to eat it in that order for so many reasons, which I'm unable to share with you because I need to wrap up now. But there is an article about this on nutritionscience.in called Should You Eat Fruits Before or After Food? That's the name of the article. Please check it out. It teaches you why, if you recommend this to your patients and you eat it yourself, you can get so much healthier, so much easier. And that's been our goal, to make healthy eating easier. So I'd like to close by saying this. Healthy eating need not be boring. Healthy eating can be so fantastic, so delicious that you can't even imagine going back to your regular food. I'm going to run through 12 slides, 5 seconds each, and show you how delicious that can be, right? Now, that's a cake. That's a chocolate cake and a pineapple cake. We don't use sugar, we use dates. We don't use maida, we use whole wheat. We don't use oil or butter, we use nut butters. And that cake can stabilize your blood sugar levels. This is a feast which we made for Teachers' Day. That has it's a feast from Tamil Nadu. So it has a fruit starter, there is puliyogre, there's paisam, there is an adai with, which is like a type of dosa, which with coconut chutney, there's a vegetable side dish, there's raita made from peanut curds. There is a vegetable dish that's baked instead of cooking it with oil, we baked it. And then there is a vada, which is also baked and not fried. There's a tenga mithai, which is coconut and dates and elaichi ground up together. That's it. Coconut, dates, elaichi ground together in a mixie with a coconut piece on top, made into a laddu. Fantastic and absolutely delicious and 100% healthy. That's a collection of sweets which we gave our clients for Deepavali. There's a kaju burfi, there is a pista burfi, there is a, there are cookies, there is a murk, there is, what else? I'm running out of time and I'm getting stressed because there's so much of delicious food here. There's kachori, there is matris, there is, karanjis and kod boles, which is a Karnataka specialty. There's mixture, there is til laddus, and not a single one of these products has a drop of oil, dairy, or sugar in them. And yet they are fantastic. Right? We have laddus that we made for Gokulashtami. This is a feast we made for Yugadi. This is a pizza, a plant-based pizza, which is cheesy, delicious, whole wheat base, and a cashew cheese, a cheese made of cashews, which you can make at home. It's just cashews ground up with water with some seasonings. It tastes amazing. Right? We have murke, which is baked and not fried. There is so this is a meal that we're making this Sunday, where we have so that's a paneer butter masala. But there's no paneer, there's no butter, plenty of masala. We use tofu instead of paneer. We use nut butter instead of dairy butter, and it's amazing. And you have harabara kebab. There's grapes and raita and dal. And that's a Chinese feast with a Chinese crepe, and there's gobi Manchurian and fried rice. There's a chaat with a cutlet on top, and what our friend has been speaking about all afternoon, gulab jamuns. No sugar, no oil, no paneer, no maida, but absolutely delicious. So, friends, I'd like to conclude by saying, there are people all over the world who are going back to their roots. We started our journey in 2014, speaking about plant-based nutrition. We have in India hundreds of doctors, naturopaths, allopathics, homeopaths, Ayurveda physicians, nutritionists, dietitians, who are talking about evidence-based nutrition, plant-based nutrition. We have people like Jenilia Deshmukh and Ritesh Deshmukh, who have come up with a mock meat company that Shah Rukh Khan launched. We have Virat Kohli, who said that he's stopped eating meat. We have so many people adopting healthier diets that it's time that we all got together to create a revolution. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope that was useful.
शुक्र है कि लंच के पहले डॉक्टर अच्युतन का सेशन नहीं था, नहीं तो फोटोज देख के भूख लगने लग जाती. Okay, very good. Thank you, Dr. Achyutan. It was a very nice presentation. Actually, we are living in the era where most of the diseases we suffer are due to faulty food habits and wrong dietary practices, leading to either malnutrition or overnutrition. So as Dr. Achyutan has explained us how to get back to our roots and relearn the forgotten art of food and nutrition and achieve a balanced diet in the Indian sense. जो हमें अपनी चीजों को भूलना नहीं है, जो हमारी जो मूल चीजें हैं, हमारी जो बेसिक चीजें हैं, जो हमारा कल्चर है, उसका जो भोजन है, जो एक बैलेंस डाइट है, हम अगर उसके साथ रहेंगे तो हमेशा स्वस्थ रहेंगे. तो डॉक्टर अच्युतन का वेरी मच थैंक यू.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen Jacob and Dr. Achyutan Ishwar. Achyutan Ishwar is my classmate, and I will tell you one thing about him, that whatever he explained here about the raw diet and all, he had actually applied it practically over in him only also. He had not even like whatever he had told here, it's not only he's like explaining you or saying about the healthy diets or raw diets, he had practiced over himself also. So it was excellent, I can say, the method which you are using. And I still remember in my college days, there was a festival in that we had prepared the very natural and healthy, delicious foods. And he was one of the persons to guide us at how to prepare a natural, delicious pizza, ragi pizza, pani puri and everything. I really like that sort of things. And definitely if you want to advise your patients and all, definitely join to him. Excellent.
Thank you. So क्या-क्या फोटोज आपने दिखा दी, काम खराब कर दिया डॉक्टर ईश्वरन, क्योंकि बहुत ही टेस्टी था ना, देखने में मजा आ रहा था, है ना. सबने शायद एंजॉय किया, आई टॉनिक सबने ले लिया. तो अब हम मोमेंटोज देंगे हमारे गेस्ट को. सो मैं रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूंगी डॉक्टर गोविंद त्रिवेदी जो मोमेंटो देंगे डॉक्टर अच्युतन ईश्वर को. तो मैं उनको सामने यहाँ बुलाना चाहूंगी. डॉक्टर गोविंद त्रिवेदी. डॉक्टर अच्युतन ईश्वर, इट वाज अ वेरी गुड प्रेजेंटेशन गिवन बाय यू. बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत सारा इंफॉर्मेशन, बहुत सारी नॉलेज हमको हुई अबाउट प्लांट बेस्ड डाइट. टाइम की कमी की वजह से आपको अधूरा छोड़ना पड़ा, अदरवाइज वी वुडंट हैव लेट यू इनकम्प्लीटली leave this because it was very informative.